So while we stayed at Croft State Park, we wanted to get back up to Jones Gap. We missed it last time we were up there, so we wanted to go check it out, get a hike in. We'd heard amazing things about it.
It was not wrong.
It was fantastic.
Everything you've heard about it,
yes,
multiple times too, it was amazing.
Beautiful place. So hope you enjoy this video and check it out. In 2020, after we got the camper, one of the first places that I wanted to go was Table Rock. Lots of people talk about Table Rock. We love Table Rock. Check out that video after you get done with this one. But while we were up there, we tried to get to several of the other parks that were day use only. And
hike-in
yes,
camping, which we don't do.
So we were able to get to Caesar's Head, even though it was 2020 and they were limiting the number of people. We got to Caesar's Head, rode up and saw a pretty place, and we wanted to go to Jones Gap, but we couldn't.
And they were limited to like 15 parking spaces or something.
Yeah, they were keeping it very limited, and you had to have a reservation, and we did not realize that at the time. So there was a gap, and we knew we wanted to get back up there at some point. So when we booked Croft State Park in Spartanburg for spring break, we made sure to put in a day where we could get over to Jones Gap.
And man, was it worth it.
Yeah, it's
a good 90 minutes.
Yeah, it was a good
Croft.
And actually, we drove up into North Carolina and then came back down the way that the Google Maps took us on the way in. There must have been some sort of car accident or some traffic.
Didn't take us that way.
It didn't take us that way coming back. So I don't know. Google Maps will help you get there.
Because it's kind of in the middle of nothing.
But the ride in is beautiful. You're riding up the foothill mountains, creeks, rolling hills.
It's gorgeous. And even so what I thought was amazing about Jones Gap is, so even the parking lot is pretty.
The parking lot is really pretty.
And so you park and there's only, there's 36 spaces or something. They don't take reservations. They take parking spot reservations on Saturday and Sunday and major holidays. So they had, like Good Friday, the Friday before we were there, they had taken reservations, but they didn't take them the spring break, the week we were there, which was most of everybody's spring break. So we were a little nervous, got up early, kind of tried to get there right as the gate opened. And I would recommend that. In the summertime, I would recommend getting there between 9 and 10 o'clock if you can't get a reservation. Parking space reservations are $5, and you have to do it through the park store system. You can call, which I did, and the staff is super, super friendly. But see, the parking lot's pretty parked. Like, this is actually really pretty. It's very woodsy and big rocks. Big rocks, when I say big rocks, I mean boulders, small, good size, what we think of in the Midlands and, the Sandhill area is rocks. And then you even walk through this little trail to get to the park.
Yeah, when I parked, I was like, this is kind of odd. I don't see any structures or anything.
Nothing.
And so you walk across, like you said, walk this trail, and then you get to this footbridge over a river, or a little creek.
And all of that is gorgeous. You could just do that and be like, this is beautiful.
Right.
And then it dumps you out into this beautiful.
Yeah, you kind of go up a staircase, and then there's
water. Yeah.
And then there's a pond where it used to be a fish hatchery. So years ago there was 4 or 5 ponds. Now there's just one left that's got some trout in it, and that's pretty. And there's a bathroom facility there with showers. And then you walk up to the cabin, which is the store.
But once you go over that first footbridge, you're in this big kind of open, flat green space, and you can see some structures. There's picnic tables and the fish hatchery, but it's level back again, and the river's coming beside it, and it's beautiful. And then the home that had been the fish hatchery caretaker, and then the park caretaker, and now the park office, and there's some discovery center kind of stuff, is amazing.
It's beautiful. There was a lot of carpenter bees, just like we saw at Croft. It was kind of weird around the bathrooms. Yeah. The kids got a little freaked out
about the bees.
It's not that big a deal. They won't bother you.
A beautiful butterfly garden, but all of that was gorgeous. And then the trail is just drop dead gorgeous. Now there is several varieties of trails. We hiked the easy one. So a good lesson about state parks and hikes is easy for somebody, isn't necessarily easy for everybody. That one was fairly difficult. I mean, I would say it was moderate.
Yeah.
I don't think there was like an easy trail. Like to me, an easy trail is like what we did at another place. You just kind of walk around the lake and there's maybe some stairs. This was definitely up the side of a mountain.
Yeah, you're going along the side of a creek, and there's several little small
I would say
water.
It was a river.
Yeah, there's river, creek. You can see from the video. You decide what you think it is.
Rushing wide water. You could have stepped over it.
Several places where there's little small waterfalls and almost the entire time you heard the sound of water.
You could at least hear it the whole time, and a lot of times you could see it. And you also pass all of their, not all of, because we didn't go as far as all of them, but we passed several of their hike-in camping locations, and I'm sure you got some of that that you'll show. Those are amazing. If you're a hike-in camper, like this is the place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already, there are fire rings there, lots of places. There's stumps. So there's like 20 of them. It's breathtaking. We are not capable of hike-in camping. I think we saw like 12. I want to say somebody said there was 18. I don't know if that's what the accurate number is, but it was just amazing. I mean, you're right there by the river. There's these big rocks. Whether it's the park staff or along the way, people have moved rocks in and stumps, wood in, so there's places to sit.
It's actually the Middle Saluda River, so it is a river. You were right. You're right.
It's wide and rushing.
Yes.
And there's waterfalls. So where we hiked was the Jones Gap Trail. That's kind of the main trail, and then it starts to branch off from there. The
Rainbow Falls.
Rainbow Falls is what everybody just raves over.
Rainbow Falls, they say is a pretty aggressive hike. You need to be prepared with water. It gets steep.
Food.
Yeah, it gets steep. They
you
say.
Need some snacks. You probably should have taken some snacks on any of the trails.
Yeah, and definitely some water, especially during the summer if it's hot. You're going to want some water.
It was strenuous.
Yeah. They say the Rainbow Falls is beautiful. We didn't feel up for that one, but we did get to the Jones Gap Falls, and that was stunning.
And it was stunning. It was stunning. And then there was that trail. I will say it was, like I said, it was moderate because there was never anything that was like super awful steep, but it was pretty much. I mean, you're going up a mountain. It's pretty much up the whole time. Rocks. There are places you had to step over, like tributaries that run off places. There were some beautiful bridges over the river, and then the main trail goes up to the left, and you go into the
and
waterfall.
if you're a serious hiker, this part of the state is full of great hikes.
Yeah.
You can actually, if you continued on the trail, we stopped at the waterfall.
And came back.
If you continue on, you can actually hike all the way up to Caesar's Head. As a matter of fact, Caesar's Head and Jones Gap
are sister parks.
They're actually all one park. They're connected. They call it the Bridge Mountain Bridge Wilderness Area, combined together. So they're overseen by the same.
I think it's 13 miles.
13, and there's 13,000 acres between the two of them. So
it's spectacular.
It is.
But if you're not a hiker, and you want to go somewhere for the most scenic, beautiful, little small, wander around space, like even just
go for a picnic lunch.
Go for a picnic lunch there. Take a nice picnic and enjoy yourself there. There's beautiful places right off the river where you can sit and have your picnic. There's big shaded trees. There's big boulders you can sit on.
You can sit on the porch, Adirondack chairs on the porch at the office.
It was but even just right there at the trail, because there is some, like right at the very beginning, there's ADA parking, and then there's some ADA accessibility right there at the base. So there's some giant boulders, there's an ADA bridge that you can sit right there or walk right across, where the river comes down underneath it, right at the start of everything. So even if you've got small kids and you are out of shape and you feel like you can't hike up the mountain, just go. Get a parking space, walk that little bit. If you're ADA, you need an ADA space, call and reserve one. Make sure that there's one available to you, and see that like little. I'm sure there's a word for that when you're like in the mountains and then there's like a big flat space, but it's just spectacular.
It's nice.
It's breathtaking.
Yeah, well worth making the effort to get there. Jones Gap is, if you're in the area, I would consider it a must visit.
Yeah, I think it's a must do. Even if you're not doing the 47, fine. Put that on your top 10. It's definitely in the top 10.
It's worth the drive up from Greenville, Spartanburg, wherever you happen to be in that part of the world.
Yeah.
Go check it out.